Web, it's your boy Jay the Ricky, man. You tune into a brand new episode of Extended Engineer Etiquette, man, powered by I Stand the Producers. What's up, everybody, man? It's another week, another etiquette. Today I'm talking about making a template, okay? Now, this is something that's possibly overlooked by a lot of producers and engineers, or maybe people didn't even know that it exists, all right? Now, first, what is a template? You might have made your own business card, or if you're familiar with Microsoft Word, and if you ever made a resume, they always show you different templates to use from. There's something that's already been started for you so that you could go in the right direction. That same thing applies to production and engineering. A template is something that you already established, pre-designed, predetermined, pre-selected, all of your plugins, your tracks, everything like that. For producers, I always recommend having a template of your favorite sounds, your favorite drums, your favorite VSTs, all of your go-to folders locked in a saved project. Now, of course, be careful, because when you open that project and you start creating, make sure you always save as, and you save it as another name. So you always have that template ready to go when you get inspired and get creative. For engineers, speaking for myself, having a template is heaven sent. It makes me work faster, it gets the ball rolling a lot quicker when it comes to mixing, and it is very good for the client because they get to use a lot of their time to record. Think about it, when you open a Pro Tools session and it's blank, you gotta create the new tracks. If you're gonna have any effects, you gotta create the auxiliary tracks, assign it a reverb or delay. And even when you start recording, you start mixing, if you wanna add an EQ or compressor, you gotta do that in the middle of a session. Let's say they wanna hear a delay or a reverb on their track as they're recording. Now, this kind of goes into my whole discussion about engineer etiquette being that in between of school and YouTube. In school, they never taught me about a template. They never taught me that's a good way to just prepare yourself for any session. And YouTube kind of makes really no mention of it, besides this guy, of course. So you kind of have to just learn it the hard way, which I did the first time I got my first professional engineering job at a studio. The head engineer at the time, Shamari, shout out to Shamari, told me, hey Gio, I have a couple templates set up for you. I have hip hop, R&B, and pop. You just open it up, save it as whatever new name you have it as, and there you go. You can just get a head start on it. Did I listen? Man, that session came and I started from, create new tracks, and then I had to assign the inputs, and then I had to add this and add that, and that took about 20 to 30 minutes, and that's 20 to 30 minutes away from the client's time. Now, when I went to school, it was really frowned upon to record anything that's on the insert track. Meaning, if you're recording vocals and you have like an EQ or like a compressor or some reverb, it's kind of frowned upon to have it on the actual track. If somebody wanted to hear how they sounded with delay, we'd have to kind of record it and then play it back with us adding the reverb with delay after they recorded it. Honestly, that's quite ridiculous, all right? The client paying for the time, they need things done, you know what I'm saying? Why can't I listen to my voice with reverb as I record? Which, FYI, a lot of these artists that sing, they really can't sing without that vibe, without hearing themselves how they think they sound in their head. So they need that reverb, they need the delay, they need, auto-tune if you like as well. Now, of course, I found out by using a template, using auxiliary tracks and sends could really help your rapport with the client, because if they want delay, you could set it up real quick. If it's reverb, it's already set up for you. I'm gonna take you guys into my computer, into my own template, to give you guys an idea of how everything works from the Gio Rican side, all right? Let's see. Okay, guys, so let me just take you inside of how it looks when you open Pro Tools up, okay? For those who didn't know that templates even existed, when you first open up Pro Tools and everything loads up, it's usually the first option that's highlighted. Depending on the version, it might ask you to open up recent sessions, which is the most common one, since people typically tend to just go back and work. But if you're starting off fresh, this is the menu that it takes you to. So as you'll see, once create session from template, create blank session, open recent session, open session, create session from template. If you click down this drop menu, these are all of the session templates that come at least standard with Pro Tools 10, but even if it's not an HD version, if it's a prior or even a more recent version of Pro Tools, they all come with templates. Create session from template, I'm gonna use Blue Note Stu BX template. Okay, now it's gonna ask you to rename it because it's gonna be a session, and we're gonna name this Engineer Etiquette. Now this is just a session. I'm only naming it template so I can know, what the hell this engineer etiquette session's for. Now when it actually opens up, okay, I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys my template, how it works, and like my reasoning behind it. Okay. First of all, I have everything separated and color coordinated, just for convenience and just for eye-popping visuals and to look kind of cool. I always have a record track, typically on the top. If I flip back over, it's typically on my top track. If I load up an instrumental, and then I typically just put the beat on top as well. Now the reason why I have a track specifically just for recording, it allows me to have just one input or one track with the input available. Even if I record something, for instance, if I record something right now, let me mute the beat so it's not too crazy loud. Even if I record something right now, and let's say this was the intro or the verse or whatever the case may be, you see I'm recording, blah, 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 blah. If this was the lead track, I could just crop, if I didn't like that first part, didn't like the ending, I call it crop and drop. And if they're doing a double take, if they're doing a double, a triple, whatever the case may be, whatever you're going to record, just crop it and drop it. Okay. That's why I have a record track on at the very top. Now, this is how everything's routed. This is about signal flow. Now, signal flow is its own engineer etiquette, so I'm not going to get too involved. Right now, my record track is going out and out of the speakers, or out 1 and 2, built-in output, whatever your thing is. Okay. Notice now I typically change that into whatever part of the song that I'm recording. If I'm recording the lead verse, I have this in green. Therefore, I have the bus going to my verse auxiliary track, which is here. This is where I have corrective, signal processing, and of course effects, meaning I have a EQ, SSL EQ. I usually have it just to kind of like roll off the lows. Also, I like just passing it through the SSL channel. Followed by that, I have an EQ. Now you probably ask yourself, okay, not every voice sounds the same. Correct, but I do know the sweet spots in vocals in both male and female. And remember, this is a template. This is how I'm starting off. This is now how I'm finishing it. Next, we have a compressor by Renaissance, R compressor, a de-esser, and I got this from my boy Shamari. He just gave me like a multi-band parametric processor. Just at the end, it does kind of give it some beef. I typically add more plugins throughout the session depending on the session itself. Now you'll notice typically when you click a plugin and you click another one, it'll just kind of erase the other plugin you have open. A quick neat trick around that is if you hold down shift and click down all these other buttons, it'll just show you everything like that. So also this, when you open up a plugin, this little red circle would be red. If you unplug it, it'll leave it on the screen. Okay, so let me just close out all these. Now that is what makes my sauce. It's not necessarily good for everybody, and everybody has their own favorite plugins anyway. Now if somebody wants to hear themselves with reverb or delay, I already had that automatically set up in my sends. A reverb, a delay send, a separate reverb just for added coloring, another delay which is more for like my ping pong effect, and another FX that's usually blank, and that I usually, right now it just has reverb on it. I'll change it to a flanger or any other effect that the client had in mind. Okay, you have separate control this way, having your effects in a send track. Even schools are going to show you that it should go on the send track. Do not, please do not put your reverb and your delay on your insert of your audio track. Basically, that's what auxiliary tracks are made for. If you work on Ableton or like Logic, your sends are automatically to whatever send you select. Or even on consoles, they don't have it on top of the actual channel strip. So just take that in mind, okay? So now, right now, you have your vocals going into the microphone, into the track, out of the track, into these auxiliary buses with sends going to the effects. This is how we stay efficient. This is how we get a step up during our sessions with our clients. So there you have it, man. That's how you make a template. Next time you run a session, notice how quick and fluent and how seamless that whole process is going to be, man. What are some of your favorite plugins? How is your template going to look like, man? Let me know. Comment down below your favorite plugins. If it's helped, if I'm just talking out of my ass. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Follow me on the gram at Gio the Rican. Until next time, guys, whip out.